Hi everyone, I have been requested by a couple of people to do a more up-to-date video of my pencil collection. So I'm surrounded by my pencil collection. I'm not going to try and count them. Anyway, and I thought I would just show you what I've got and talk you through a little bit about the different brands and what I think of them. Now these are two drawers that I've removed from my desk in the other room, and so I'm just going to work through the drawers and then I'm going to work through all my sets. So this one here is actually a Holbein pencil. It's the apple green colour. I bought a few open stock Holbeins. I'm trying to see if I've got any more. I think that's the only one I've got there. And I've got this tin, of Holbeins as well, which I'll show you. Now these were extremely expensive, this little tin. And it had the 12 pastel shades. I've put a few extras in here now. I think, yeah, those are the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those are the 12 pastel shades you get in the tin. And the tin, the postage and import duty cost me more than the actual pencils, but there is now a UK stockist of Holbeins, so you can get them at a more reasonable price. And I've got these extras as well of a few other colours. Now I do like the Holbein pencils. They are they're not too soft, not too hard, they don't break that easily. You can see I've used them a lot. These pastel shades are quite unique, although I know now there are I think Brutfuner do pastel. I've got some other pastels as well, castles, but before they did, these were really the only ones you could get, and I'm sure the 50 set is lovely, but value for money, I think, I'm not too sure because they are so expensive in the UK. So those are the Holbeins. Now what else have I got in this drawer? I have got a Prismacolor there and a Polychromos. Talk about those later. This one though, is the only one of this brand I have. This is a Van Gogh pencil. I bought it to try. It was really cheap, and I thought I would just try it out. So I bought all green because I use lots of greens, and to be honest, it's not brilliant. You know, I don't really hear of anyone using them anyway. It broke a few times. It's not that vibrant. I wasn't too impressed. These are a few spare Prismacolors there. Those were a couple of spare Artezas. I'll talk about Arteza later as well. But here we have my Prismacolor Very Thins. Now they are very different to the normal Prismacolors that we all know about, the Premiers, which I actually haven't brought through with me. So I talk about those actually just in a minute. This is the full set. I think there's 48, and they sharpen to a very fine point. These aren't particularly well sharpened at the moment, which means you can do all those little details that you can't necessarily do with the regular Prismacolors, which have the sort of big thicker cores and don't hold their points so well. In theory it's a good idea, but I find that I don't always have the colour that I want, you know, for the particular picture I'm doing. And some of them, like this really, the peach one here is a bit pale, and because it's hard it doesn't really show up very well. But I bought them because I couldn't afford the Prismacolor, and some of the colours are absolutely beautiful, like this one here, which is the aquamarine. So you know, it depends what you're looking for really. If you don't like hard pencils, then just forget it, don't worry about those. And in the set underneath here, I've got a few different ones as well. Oops. I've got an eraser and a pencil extender. These are all my blending pencils and things, eraser. A very cute sharpener. So this is a Caran d'Ache blending stick. It works really well on certain brands of pencil. On some brands of pencil it doesn't work at all. It's a very strange thing, and it also snaps really easily, hence why this is so small. I haven't worn it out. I broke it, I dropped it and ran it over with my desk chair. Yay. This is a burnisher. Now there are no other brands that I have of burnishers, and basically it pushes the pencil down into the tooth of the paper, so it flattens everything. It can be quite good if you want something to look really shiny or really intense, but once you've done it you can't colour on top, so I rarely use it, as you can see from the length. However, This is the Derwent blender. Now this is a really good blender. I find it works with every brand of pencil, and it just smudges the pencil and not the black line on the book. Most books, a few books, the black print is a bit smudgy anyway. So I really like that one. It does often come together with the burnisher, but you can buy them on their own. Now this is the Prismacolor blender. Again, I really like this. It works better than the Derwent, but it can smudge the black lines of the book, so you have to be really careful. This is the Koh-i-Noor Hartmouth Polycolor blender. Haven't really tried it out very much yet, so I can't say. There's a blending stick, which is full length. Okay, and you just sharpen it like a pencil. This is a white Caran d'Ache Luminance pencil. Now, I've only tried a few of these, and the whites are very good, but the one I tried I got from my local art shop, and it was rubbish. The pencil was a blue one, but I found out later that they had a very old stock and it wasn't particularly good. So it might be that the luminants are amazing and I'm missing a trick by not having them, but I don't know, maybe I had a bad one. Now this is a Prismacolor white. I use the Prismacolor white quite a lot because it's better than some other whites in other sets. And that is a Staedtler blender pencil, which I've been playing with a bit as well. I haven't really tried it enough to comment. So those are my blending pencils. So if you are going to buy one, I would say go for the Derwent. Let's try and put all these things back. Now to the right of here, I have a whole set of Prismacolor greens. Before I had a full set of Prismacolors, I used to buy a few open stock, and I bought loads of greens because Johanna Basford has so many trees and I like a big mix of greens, so I bought lots of greens. So I'm sort of using those alongside my actual full set, which I will show you later. These are Posca. This here actually is a Derwent metallic pencil. I wanted to try one to see how they compared with my other metallic pencils. I have to say, I didn't feel they were any better. So they're more expensive, and I didn't think they were that much better, so I don't really use it. I just thought it might be a more vibrant red, but it isn't. It's the same as the reds in the other sets. And we'll talk about metallic pencils a bit more later. Oh, sorry for all the noise. These are Posca pencils. Now I bought these in a set. These are really, really expensive pencils normally, but I bought these in a scroll box set, which was old. I'm not a subscriber to scroll box. As much as I'd love to have a set of art materials every month on my doorstep, I know I'd hardly use any of them because I don't use paints and pens and things like that very much. But this was an old set, so it showed you what was in it, and it was reduced to about £5, and it had these 5 pencils in. Now normally these are more than £2-3 each, and so for £1 each it just felt like a bargain. You got a few other bits and pieces with them, I can't remember. I got some white paint and some sketchbook and stuff anyway. So I tried these out. Now the range of colour, there's a grey as well, I don't know where that's gone. So there were 6, and they are nice. They're quite soft, they don't hold their point particularly well, but they don't break when you sharpen them. But for the money, I'm not sure, really. It's very expensive. Now we've got a mix, got another Holbein in here. It's quite a dark one. It was a colour that I didn't really have. It's like a navy. And other Prismas. This one here is a different brand. This is a Brunzial design one. It was the second that I bought, so it was a bit breakable. It's a very nice, pretty colour. It's a purpley, violety colour. It says 91, doesn't tell me the name of the colour, but it broke a lot, and I don't know if that was because it was the second I bought it, it was broken when I bought it, or whether it's a breakable pencil, but it isn't as good as like even a Castle Arts violet type colour, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about those. This is a Derwent Intense pencil. I got one in a set of stuff. I haven't tried it out. I've got had a couple of others as well. Haven't tried them yet. I'm thinking about doing a picture with an orange background, so I might put it down in the background and then try pencil on top or something. And these are again a few odd pencils. This this is my gold, how I make gold with Prismacolors. So burnt umber, light umber, it's ochre, yellow ochre and jasmine. So I bought these a long time ago. You can see this one broke a lot, and there's a few other, there's a beige as well. I just I wanted some browns for houses and things, so I just got an odd few. That's another Holbein beige there. So that is my loose bits and pieces. I'll go on and show my tins. I'm just going to get my, put this away because it's taking a lot of space, and I'll be back. Right, so I grabbed my box of Prismacolors. We talked a bit about them already. I thought we'd show you what you get. You get 150 in this box, so I've got all of them here. Apart from the new colours, two of them have been the lilac and the lavender. These two are no longer made. You might still be able to get them in some places, but they've been replaced with orchid and another colour instead, and they're quite similar. For me, it doesn't look that different, but then I haven't had my Prismas that long. You can see they're not that short. I haven't replaced any of them with new ones yet. What I do find is a few Prismacolors, when you put white pen on them, the white pen doesn't stay white. Just realised I'm not straight. So I put a bit of tape around the bottom of those so that I know that, so that if I'm doing a picture where I want white highlights, I avoid using those pencils, or else it just goes neon pink. So that's a little tip, I suppose, for you. So colour wise, there aren't that many yellows and oranges for my liking. It's just that bit there. There's this pale ones I don't really use very much, and then there's quite a lot of ochres and sort of browny yellows. We haven't really got, it's only the canary yellow is really the only sort of proper yellow that I would say there is. Maybe I'm being a bit fussy, I don't know. And the oranges seems quite small a range as well for me. I've got the reds here, again, not that many, but let's take those away and look at the next one. Oops. I also find there's so many that I never know how to spread them out on my desk. There's never room. So I think I need to put them in a pencil case or something, because I just find it difficult to manage them all. This set here, sort of, I've put the pinks and purples and salmons in. We've got a nice range, I think, of sort of mid-purpley pinks and pales, because there's quite a lot of pastel shades in the Prismas. So if you like pastel shades, and they're just in the set already, so like this one, sort of pastel pinks, and you've got your sort of light peach and your sort of pale sort of lilac-y colours, that's a grey lavender, I think, and things like that. So you've already got your pastel shades in here. The big problem with Prismas is breakage. Now, they do break quite easily in a sharpener. You need the right sharpener. So I always use a hand crank dowel 133 sharpener, and it helps. They don't break so easily, but some of them just do break more easily than others. And often, like here, this one isn't short because I've used it a lot. It's short because it's broken a lot. So it's a little bit annoying. But the white is very good. You can buy them open stock in the UK, not in shops, but online. I use the Colour Pencil shop. Now these are beautiful, these sort of turquoisey colours. There's a really, really good range of greens. So we've got these greens here, and we've also got some greens here as well, and browny greens. So I like the range of greens in this set. You've got bluey greens, you've got olive greens, you've got mid greens, you've got a really, and sort of almost minty grey greens as well. So you've got a lovely range. The browns, not so much so. You've got 3 quite similar dark browns, one lightish brown, and then lots of sort of more reddy browns. I'm not a fan of reddy browns, so maybe that's just me. So let's move these two aside and then talk about nice blues. These are violets at this end, and I really like those. They're lovely. And then we have a nice, what I think is a nice range of blues. Probably too many pale ones. They're probably too similar, but maybe that's just me because I don't use them that often. And then the greys. Now we've got cool greys, warm greys, and French greys. Now I think that's a little bit of overkill. I like cold greys and I like French greys. I don't know if we need the warm greys as well, but you know, it depends what you're doing. We've got the metallics, not particularly good. They're okay. And the fluorescent-y ones I've used a few times just to play with them. neon's not really my thing. So probably those, I would rather have some yellows instead of those. And there's also some weird colours which are a bit strange, like ginger root, which I can't really work out what colour it is. So it's a bit strange. But anyway, those are the Prismacolors, just so you can see them. They are expensive in the UK. I personally, if I was going to spend that much money on pencils and I only had enough money for one set, I would buy Polychromos, not Prismacolor. But it's very, very personal. These are soft and smushy, and once you've applied it to the paper, you can move it on the paper with a blender. With the polys, you can't do that. So it depends what you're looking for in your pencil. So let's move those onto the floor carefully and move on. We've done our Holbeins. Let's move on to Arteza. I've got two types of Arteza here, and I haven't got full set. Well, I've got a 48 set of the Arteza Premium in this tub. Now, these are their budget range, and the expert range are their more professional artist quality range. To be honest, there isn't a huge difference in my book, apart from the amount. You can get 120 of these, but 48 is the maximum of these. So there is that. Obviously, there's a price difference. Now, these come in the tub. They're triangular, okay? And the colours you get vary depending on where you buy them from. I don't know whether that's changed now, but my set is not the same as everyone else's always. I don't know if it's the difference between Amazon and buying them directly from Arteza, or whether it's UK and US, that sort of thing. But the range of colour, I think there's a lot of pink in here for me, but I'm not going to show you the colours in this one because it might be different to what you can get now. However, I will show you this box. This is a 72. Now, I think if you like pink and purples, you've got quite a nice range here, but you haven't got an awful lot of blue. But I like the yellows. There's a nice lot of yellows, and we've got some sort of peachy skin tony ones. Again, not that many oranges, but for a 72 set, maybe that's okay. And these, I don't use these a lot. I've got a few more pinks there. And then down here got more greens. It's a nice range of greens. Again, you've got your olive greens. This one is my favourite. This is the one that I had a few spares of, because you can only buy spares in threes. So I bought 3 spare ones of this because I really like it. You can't buy open stock of these. You'd have to buy the whole lot again. There aren't many greys, but I think, again, for a set this small, that's okay. But there's no nice light brown. This one is the nearest you get. You can see I've used it loads. Now, these don't break that easily in the sharpener. They don't hold their point as well as some brands, but fairly well. I find them quite good for bigger areas and things like that. And when I'm using my Sarah Rennie Clark Colour Cube cards, I find the colours in here work really well with those. For some reason, they always seem to have the right colours, even though I've only got the 72 set. So for those, I think they are a budget range. I think they are good value for money. But if you want to do lots of precise details, they might not be the best for you. So that's those. Now we're going to move on to a few little odd sets I've got here. These are Crayola dry markers. So they're highlighter pencils. Look at that. These are rubbish. They are what they say on the tin. They're very dry. They don't blend particularly well, but they're really bright, and I find them great for quick mandala. If I just want to put some colour down, that works well. They're vibrant, but if you want to do blending, shading, layering, no. But I just bought them because they were fun, and to be honest, I needed something to make some money up to get free postage, and I like Crayola, so I thought I'd try them out. They're not. I've got some much better Crayola pencils than these, but if you want a highlighter pencil, they don't smudge, so they could be quite good. Might be better than a pen. No plastic for a start. Right, let's move on to Black Widow, as they happen to be here. Now, I don't have all the Black Widow sets. I have 3 Black Widow sets, but now Black Widows, take a lid off this one and hide that snake. So they're really hard to see. I'll put them on my hand. Now, Black Widows are made with black wood and they're black pencils, so they're quite difficult to see what the colour is. It's written on there, they have fantastic colour names, and you can have to choose from the point. However, their more recent sets, let's open up the skin tone, have got the ends dipped so you can see the colours, so that's much better. Now, I like their skin tones. I've got the dark and light skin tone sets and they work well. They are a harder pencil though, so you do have to layer up and be patient. You can't, I wouldn't ever use them for a background, they're too thin, but you can sharpen them to a lovely fine point and layer and layer. And so if you like something like a Polychromo, they're a really good thing to have. Now, if you're first starting, go for the spider set, because you get a good range of colour. You've basically got a black, a grey, a handful of browns, lots of greens, a few blues, a purple and a sort of plum, you've got pink, you've got a few yellows, you've got a white, a black, you've got everything you need. A sort of full range orange is as well. So that's really useful. They're in a strange order on the lid here. I've put them in a more sensible order, I think, but you might struggle to see them. So for a beginner's set, I think they're good because you've got a full range of all colours that you might potentially need. And the other sets are considered to be supplementary. So for example, the Cobra set, oops, let's hold it up here. It has quite a lot of nice yellows, and this is a sort of greeny colour, and some other greens, which is always lovely, a few purples, some reds, pinks and oranges, but there's no brown, and there's a charcoal and dim grey, but obviously there's no black or white because they're in this set, they don't duplicate colours. There is a flat black, which is actually quite good. It's quite nice for silver, I find, but there's no blue in this set either, but there's some beautiful purples, so it depends what you're looking for. And then the Scorpion set, there again there's no grey at all. There's again a nice selection of greens though, pinks, reds, some sort of peachy colours which could be quite useful, or sort of yellowies, and a few blues. So it depends what you're looking for. It's worth knowing what's in the tin before you buy and thinking about what you've got and how you're going to use them. There are other sets as well. You've got your Monarch and your Dragon set, which I don't have, which apparently one of them has some pastels, but these skin tones have a few pastel shades in. But if you like a hard pencil that's you can sharpen to a fine point, yeah, I'd go for it. And some of the jewel tones are very pretty. Oops. So that's good, and they don't break easily. Right, where should we go next? We're going to look at these pencils. These are absolutely beautiful pencils. I showed them in my last video and said they were the only ones that I had never used. Guess what? I've still not used them. I don't even know what they're like. They're just so pretty. I bought them to make photographs with and I haven't done it. So I've been really naughty, but I did buy them from Johanna Basford's local shop that sells her signed books. I didn't buy a book with it. It was before she did sign books. So I supported a little business and haven't used them, and I really should. Right, let us move on to Staedtler. I do have a tin of Staedtler Ergosofts. These are no longer available, or if you can get them, you're lucky because they're going to stop making them. You can see how much I like these now, but the problem with Ergosofts is they go really sticky on the barrels for most people. Some people don't find they do, but I do. And then they're nasty to use and they attract dirt and it's horrible. Even if you keep them in the tin, that preserves them a little bit longer, but eventually they go sticky and I just don't like that. So they have changed their range of pencils. They've stopped making these and they brought out their design journey sets instead, which I have. But mine are in a pencil case. So this is actually a Derwent pencil case. It's horrible. I wouldn't recommend it at all. So what I have in here, I'll show you with my white, is I have a Noris, which are the stripy ones. They're really hard. They're like school pencils for kids. I wouldn't recommend them. This one is a soft touch, super soft, sorry, I wouldn't recommend these either. I was sent these free by Staedtler because I wrote to them and said, what's the difference between your normal design journey and your super soft? And they said, oh, we'll send you some super soft so you can find out. And I was like, this is an Ergosoft and this is the design journey. Now, I would say the design journey are almost as good as the Ergosoft with regards to vibrancy, blending and things like that, but they do a much bigger range. I've got 48, they do 72, so you can get a much bigger range of colour, which is really nice, and we all like a nice big range of colour. They are nice to hold, they are hexagonal, but they are comfortable, they keep their point well, they blend well, they're fairly vibrant, not as vibrant as some pencils, but they're much more vibrant than a Noris or than a cheap, really rubbish pencil. So I would think in the whole category of budget pencils, I would say if you like a hard pencil that keeps its point, design journey, I would say go for it. So that's those. So I've got all the, I've mixed my brands, which I know some people will be shuddering, but it means I use them more because I wasn't using my Noris at all. So sometimes if I want something that's quite pale, I think, oh, I want a sort of pastel-y shade of green. I'll grab a Noris and it doesn't come out, it's not very vibrant, so it looks pastel-y. Now in the back of here, I've got my coarse pencils. Now I've got 3 sets of these. This is the pastel set of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's 12 pastels there. The pastel tones are nice, they're lovely. These do keep their point fairly well, they blend quite well, they're fairly vibrant. They are, you can tell they're a budget pencil, but you know, they are pretty good. Some of the this is a larger set of pastel pencils, a 24 set. Some of them are a bit fluorescent, which you tend to get with a pastel set. But that's fine. I've just put those over there because they're a bit more fluorescent and these are pastels. And these are the normal ones, the non-pastel sets. So you can see I've not used my white at all. But I've got a couple of metallics. They're fine, you know, metallics. The greys are a bit brown and the browns are a bit grey. So it's not too good. And then you haven't got a light brown. You've got these reddy browns. That's my bugbear with other sets as well. Nice range of greens and really beautiful, beautiful purples, violets. That selection of 4 there, lovely. And then you've got a few pinks and reds and a peachy colour and a few yellows. So it's a reasonable, they're very cheap in the UK. I don't know whether you can get them everywhere, but it's a very reasonable set for the price. And yeah, you get a nice range. And if you like purple, then yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let's move that across. Try to find some space. Oh, there we go. Right, let's go through all my pencil cases. Let's just see what these are. These are my Artex. These pencil cases, by the way, are really nice. I think they're the Bitsky ones, I'm not sure. I was recommended them by my friend Michelle and she recommended well. So Artex, I don't have the biggest set, I have the 72 set. These are a copy of Prismacolor basically, and they're much cheaper. And to be honest, I think they're a fairly good budget set. You get a fairly good range of colours in them. I would say the greens were a bit lacking, but I always like lots of greens because these two are quite similar and I don't use them much, as you can see. So I would have liked something, but then Prisma isn't very good at having a mid-green, so I'd liked a mid-green. But and yeah, you've got a few greys. My silver broke and broke and broke, just like a Prisma does, so that was a little bit disappointing. But most of them seem to sharpen a bit better than Prisma, so I don't know. And yeah, I've got a beige in that, but again, not a very good light brown. And it gives you a ginger root, which is just such a strange colour, but that's just my personal opinion. So I would say, if you can't afford the Prismas and you want an alternative, this would be good. But if you've got the Prismas, I don't think you need these as well. I do use them, I enjoy them, and it was nice to have them and try them, but I don't think they would be a necessary purchase. Now my next pencil case is, oh, Derwent. Now I've got a range of different Derwent sets, and for me, Derwent are always very disappointing with regards to value for money. Now I'm in the UK where Derwent are made, and they are some of the most expensive pencils we can buy here in the UK, which makes no sense when we pay no import duty. And you know, and they don't have to be posted from too far away, so it's a bit annoying. Right, I've got a selection of sets of Derwent. I've got the Derwent drawing pencils. Now these are really thick. Let me take it out. They've got a really thick core, so they don't break very easily, and they're fantastic for backgrounds because they go down really quickly. So that's nice. I've got the Lightfast pencils. Now for me, my main bugbear is the colour range, and people go, well, it's because you can't get Lightfast colours in certain Lightfast pencils in certain colours. That's fine, but for me it's a problem. I'm not keen on the colour range, and I'll show you as we go through. The Chromaflow are actually my favourite ones because you can get them sharper. This one is quite fat, but you could, because they're thinner, you can get them sharper, and there's quite a nice range of colour in those. So, but I've only got a small set, and this is one of their Ergosoft. I've only got a few of those, and I rather like those as well. So the Lightfast are really expensive, and to be honest, I would probably go for Ergosoft or Chromaflow. I haven't tried all their pencils. I haven't tried their Pro Colour. But anyway, it depends. If you like the really earthy colours, then the drawing pencil's probably good. So if you look, you can see here are the pinks. Now, there's no sort of mid-pink. There's no, it's like either a really dark magenta or a really dark purpley pink or a salmony colour. There's really not much in between. Now, I'm not a pinky person, but I really would be nice to have a light rose or a light pink or a fuchsia or things like that. And the same with the purples. You go from really pale, like light violet. You've got your Mars violet, which is quite dark, and then you've got a sort of mid, and then a really dark nightshade. You haven't got sort of a pretty manganese violet or anything like that in there. Blue range here, again, there's a few light blues in the Chromaflow, but not really in the others. So I probably would use those more. Where's my sky? Where's my pale blue? You know, I've got like a sort of turquoise, and there's a really pale, what's this? Aqua, and Arctic is like a white blue, but there's nothing sort of in between. Yeah. Greens are nice, I have to say. You've got a lot of bluey greens, and these are your mid greens. But the olives are all very dark and brown and very similar, which, you know, is okay. But these greens are all very brown, or yeah. These are sort of ochres. There are a few sort of, and then we're on to browns. There are loads and loads of browns, but they're all reddish brown, which, apart from a few down here, these are all, apart from those there, they're mainly reddish browns, and I'm not keen on those. If you like reddish brown, siennas and sanguines and things like that, and brilliant. But for me, I do like them, but I do also like a nice pale sort of camel, or, you know, light brown, beige, that sort of thing. Now the greys are really nice, and the cloud grey has actually got like silver. It's like a graphite pencil, so it's actually shiny, even though it's not classed as a metallic pencil. I don't think I can show you that, but I like that one a lot. So, but as I say, I feel they're not the best value for money, really, and I don't like saying that because I really like people supporting British companies, but it just makes me a little bit sad. You know, I don't know why they're so expensive. Next pencil case, I have my, let's have a look. These are my Tombos and my I can't think what they're called. We'll find out when I open it. Okay, so these are Colours of the World Crayola. Now these are very hard. The sort of palest 3 or 4 shades will not show up on white paper however much you press until you rip the paper. They're really hard. But I do like using them actually for skin tones and things. They can be fun and good for hair as well. That's just a spare one. So Tombow. These are also very hard pencils, and some of the really pale shades are very difficult to show up. If I show you my swatch chart, you can barely see these. So that's very pale, but they do keep their point well. They layer up nicely, and there's a good range of colours, lots of greens, lots of lovely earthy tones there, and lots of blues as well, and not quite so many pinks, but nice shades of pink. So I rather like the colours myself. I've just got to go, be back in a minute. The other thing, of course, about Tombows is that the boxes are absolutely beautiful. I've taken them out and put them in a pencil case because I don't want to damage the boxes, and they're a bit of a pain to get in and out, so I probably wouldn't use them at all if I kept them in the boxes. So there we go. This is my swatch chart. You can get it from my Ko-fi shop. Right. Last one in a pencil case. Now this was sent to me as a gift. It's a really, really nice pencil case, I have to say. Shulana, maybe. And these are Pablo's. Now I am so lucky that I was gifted these. They are beautiful pencils. They're probably my second favourite set. This swatch chart was made by Becky's DIY Color Charts at Etsy. It came with the pencils. Now they sharpen to a lovely point. They rarely break in the sharpener, and they layer up lovely. They're hard, they're more like Polychromos in their hardness. There's a lovely range of colours. Now we've got our usual white creams, pale yellows, a few too many pale yellows for my liking, and probably not on, there's quite a nice range of bright yellows, apricots. I like the oranges, you know. And then we go on to our nice reds, and we've got some sort of more browny reds here, which I quite like. And then we've got some sort of more normal reds, but we've got a lot of pinky reds as well, which I like. The ruby red is very pretty, it's quite a pinky colour. And then we've got some sort of pinky purples. We've got our sort of salmons and things, and then which I use these for my very pale skin tones, but they're also just pretty for florals and things. And then rose pink, and then we move on to sort of all of more purpley colours. Oops. We've got some really beautiful purples and violets, which I really like, and then lots and lots of blues. We've got all these blues, really lovely range of blues, and they're quite different to each other. So you've got a lovely pale pastel colour, but you've got darker ones, you've got turquoisey ones, purpley ones. So there's a nice range. With the greens, again, there's probably too many here. This set here, we've got a khaki, a light olive, an olive. Those are quite similar, but you've got your lighter greens, you've got mid greens, dark greens, but lots, these are mainly here are sort of bluey greens. There's a few quite similar ones in there. These are called greens, but they're quite bluey greens, really almost completely blue. And then we've got more olives here, so it's probably, if you like your olive greens, which I do, I love them, it's really nice, but some of them are still very similar. Like I show you here, these are our olives. So our olive and our olive grey are very close, and the olive black is just a slightly darker version, you know. But if you like olives, it's good. And you've got some really pretty ochres and browns. Now again, we've got a lot of reddy browns. There's only one brown, which is a sort of normal brown, which is the brown ochre. The others are either reddy brown or dark brown. There's nice sepia. I do like the fact that we've got these browny greys here, look. It's sort of brownish beige, beige, light beige. They're sort of grey, really. We've got some nice, these greys are a little bit pale, but we've got some nice dark greys as well. And we have got a silver, gold and bronze. They're not too bad, metallic-wise. We will talk more about metallics in a bit. So those are those, as I say, they're my second favourite, just because I love a hard pencil that you can get a good point, and there's a lovely range of colours. That's their full set. I was extremely lucky. The lovely lady who sent me these, they were her set, and I think she just wasn't using them, and she wanted to send me them as a gift. I'm so grateful. Now, metallics. We talk metallics? No, they're buried. I can't talk metallics. Okay, let's talk castle arts next. My first set of castles are slightly different to the rest, so I should talk about these. These are the watercolour pencils. Now, I am not a watercolour expert by any means. These are my only watercolour pencils that I've got. I've tried a set of Staedtler once, but that's all, so I can't really compare them to anything else. I know they keep their point quite well. Sometimes they break, like that one did. You've got quite a nice range, not many yellows. These are orangey yellows, but oranges, not many. Pinks, lots of red. And then this tin, it's probably not the right logical order. It's not anyway, it's in a silly order. So we've got purples. Castle's purples are always really lovely, but look how much this one has. This is my favourite one. I've got an orange in there. Oh, goodness knows why. What order that is? Oh, that's the cadmium orange deep. I don't know why they're in this order. It's really silly. And we've got our browns again. Lots of red browns and dark browns. No nice light browns apart from in yellow ochre is the nearest to a sort of light brown that we get. And down here, for some reason, there's a couple of pinks. I need to reorder this. Greens. There aren't enough greens for my liking. They're all mainly similar shades. There's a couple of olives, which are nice, and sort of a couple of mids and a couple of bluey greens. And then we've got some sort of really light ones. You've got these are jades and teals. They're more like turquoise, and a few blues, lighter blues there. And you've got, again, never enough greys. You've got a Payne's grey and a cool grey there, and a Davies grey up here. So you've got a sort of warmer grey and two cold greys. I'm used to having lots of greys because of my Polychromos, which I haven't shown you yet. They're right at the bottom of the pile. They'll come. Patience. So that's the castle watercolours, but I'm going to show you all my castle sets. Now, this is the first castle set. It's actually the first set of pencils I was gifted by somebody who followed me on YouTube. And these are the Botanical set. If you want to try castles for the first time, this is definitely the set I would recommend because there's a lovely range. I haven't used them much. A lovely range of colours. You've got a light yellow and a darker yellow. You've got an orange and a red. You've got a reddish pink, you've got a mid pink, you've got a purpley pink, then you've got a dark purple, a light blue, a dark blue, a dark bluey green, a bluey green, a very light green, a mid green, a dark, sort of slightly olivey green, a dark olive green, and then you've got three sort of browns and a dark brown and a Payne's grey. That's actually a replacement. I ran that one out, and a black. So you've got a really good, I think, mix of colours. It says botanical. Most of the things I colour are botanicals, so it's brilliant. So this one, though, has got the tape on it because if you put white pen on that, it goes neon pink. So that's a warning to me to not to do that. But apart from that, they sharpen to a nice point. You can see there. They hold their points pretty well. You can layer them, you can blend them, and they're good value for money. However, this set here ranges from £10 to £25, depending on whether they're on sale or not. And they have lots of sales. Wait for a sale. Okay, you won't get one just before Christmas, maybe Black Friday, maybe not. Keep an eye on it. I mean, they may never go back down to £10 again, but 15, I wouldn't pay more than 15 for them. You know, look for a sale. And you can often get vouchers and money off vouchers and things like that on the site. And you can gather points, which you can spend on things as well, which I've done. So that's just a warning. Don't buy them at full price. But if you're going to try them, that is the set I would recommend. Now, I've also got the Seascape set. Now, it's a little bit confusing. They've got lots of smaller sets and bigger sets. And I've put together a sheet on my Ko-fi shop showing you what colours are available in what sets. So if there's specific colours that you particularly like, then you know where to find them. So this is the Seascape. So we've got browns and greens, blues and purples, and some sort of rock colours. It's still quite a good range of colour, but more to do with you're supposed to be able to create something like that. So you've got your castle and your sea and things like that. So that's the Seascape. I was gifted these. I I haven't used them loads, but I do like them. It's a nice mix, and there's a lot of colours in here that I like, but because I have other bigger sets, I do tend to use those, and I will swap them in perhaps. But it's quite nice having a small set in a small tin if you're out and about. This set I got for free because I had some vouchers. I chose it because it had a lot of colours in I didn't already have at the time. Beautiful purples, nice blues and things like that. Again, if you're going to get a small set, I would definitely go for the Botanical though. I was gifted this 72 set. It has a really nice range of colours. The lid's broken off. You know, it is what it is. There's a lot here where you can't put white pen on, but I'll just show you what's available. So you've got a few blues here. I think there's a few more. A nice range of purples. They're good on their purples and pinks. And more purples here as well. Lots of nice greens as well, which is always important to me. Not enough browns, not enough greys for my liking, and a very useless white. The whites aren't very good. You get a white in every set, get a black in every set. Blacks are much more useful than white in my opinion, but you may use a white a lot. You've got a fairly good range of yellows, but a lot of them are very pale and wishy-washy, and I don't use them very much. Look at that one, those are hardly used. You've got your sort of, these I guess are your light flesh tones. I don't use, in fact I think they are called flesh in this set, flesh, light, middle and deep. I don't use them very much. Nice lot of oranges for my taste. Reds, not so much so. Reds is not their forte, to be honest. So that is the 72 set, which has a really nice range, I have to say. I'm just going to skip through a few. I have also got the 120 set. Now this was sent to me free by Castell when I became a collaborator, as they call it. It sounds like we're doing some sort of crime. It just means I get commission on sales from Castell if I use certain codes. I think it's easier for me to show you this swatch chart than all the, but I'll just show you that one. Now Castell's, yeah, as I've said before, you know, you've got your black barrel, which isn't always, people don't always like, but the ends are dips. You can see the colours, they're reasonably realistic, not completely, but reasonable. And you can just see the range of colours easier on this swatch chart. As you can see, you've got loads of yellows and quite a few oranges, but very few reds. And then loads of pinks and violets, which I really love. These two are beautiful. Lots of blues, lots of greens, loads of greens. Look, the greens, all those. Although that one is a bit horrible, but anyway, personal. Browns. You've got your orangey brown, another orangey brown, a nice light brown, another slightly orangey brown, two dark browns. It's not enough for me, and even with the extra greys that you get here, I'd like a few more greys, but that's just my personal thing again. So that's the Castell. These are the soft touch Castells. Okay, so I think they're pretty good value for money, but I would try a small set first. I've also got their metallic set. We can talk about metallic pencils after, actually. Let's not do those yet. Let's talk about their gold. Now, Castell brought out their gold set, oil-based pencils, saying they were really high quality. To be honest, I think they're not as nice as their soft touch set. I don't know what it is about them that I don't like. I find they don't hold their point as well. The colours aren't as nice. Now this is their swatch chart and it's completely random, which annoys me a little bit. It's got all your yellows and then you've got one there. And then the pinks are all over the place. So I will show you, I've reordered them. So you can see you've got quite a good range of greys. You've got a lot of dark browns and actually a terracotta light is okay, but a lot of red browns again. Lots of greens, you know, not bad. You can see I have been using these, but for me they're not quite as nice and they do sometimes break more easily. I just don't want to come out of the tin. There we go. So we've got some more greens here. These are the sort of more bluey greens. Fair few blues. Lots of nice purples again, but the darkest one is the heather purple in this set. whereas in the other set you get much nicer darker ones, but this is a smaller set, so whether the larger set of gold have more, I don't know. And then you've got your pinks, reds. Again, there's no proper red. You've got a red ochre and a Venetian red, and that's it, you know. You've got a few of your lighter pinks and sort of light oranges and some yellows. So yeah, all castles, not good enough on reds for me. I'm just not personally so keen on this particular set compared to the others. I don't really know why. I think it's possibly the breakage, possibly they seem a bit, the cores seem thicker, so you can't get such a good sharp point. However, their Pasteltint pencils I do like, and it's a much cheaper way to get a set of pastels compared to Holbein. I think they're a good alternative. Having a few Holbeins, I think they work pretty well. Now the really pale ones, even if you press hard or layer up hard, you don't get a big difference in colour. You can see that on my swatches. The darker ones you can get a variation of colour. What I tend to do is use these with another one. So if I want to do a bit of shading, I can use different pencils to mix in with them to make them darker. Some of the greens are quite similar, like the cowslip and the daylily are quite close. I love this Inca Gold, but to me that isn't pastel. And some of these, they seem a little bit vibrant, and like the jasmine and the lime, they're fluorescent, they're neon, they're not pastel. But overall, I like the set. I haven't used them as much as probably I should, but whenever I get them out, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I like them. They don't break easily. They blend fairly well, and there's just a nice range. Some of them, as I say, are a bit pale. I would probably have liked more greys and some browns. I used the apricot for brown. It would have been nice to have a few like beige colours and things like that. But overall, I think if you want a pastel set, the cores that I talked about are nice, really good, very cheap, very worth it. But these, you got the greys and a few brownish shades, which I miss in the cores. So that's those. Now let's talk about metallics. So these are the Castle Art metallic set. Now metallic pencils may not behave how you expect them to. So it's really important to have an understanding that they will be slightly shiny, but not as shiny. You can see they reflect the light, but not like a gel pen, or, you know, they're not paint, they're not so reflective. And the colours are dull because they've got to be mixed with something that makes them shine, and that dulls them down. These I find blend nicely, so you can use, say, your black or your grey to darken some of the colours if you want to get some shadows into your picture and things like that. Just ignore that bit at the bottom that says Derwent Red. I was trying to see whether it was significantly different. I think it's quite similar to the Jasper Peach or the Bloodstone. But this is what they look like. I don't find they break any more easily than the Soft Touch, for example. You've got a fairly good range, and there are some browns, there are some silvery greys, you've got some nice golds, lovely range of blues. A couple of the greens are a bit similar, but they're nice. The pinks I find are a little bit too similar to each other, and some of them, the magnetic mauve goes neon pink, and the burgundy rose, when you put a white pen on it, what I do is when I swatch, I put a dot of white on to see. So some of them do that, but that range I rather like. However, I do have the Brutfuners. These are the Brutfuner metallic range. I got these from AliExpress, and they were cheaper than the castles. As I say, again with castles, always get them on special offer, but these were really cheap. Sorry, I make a horrible noise coming out of the case, and they come like this. It's quite hard to show you, I haven't done a swatch, but you've still got your silvers and blacks and You've got browns, you've got loads of greens, all these greens, that whole bit there is green, and got sort of olives and bluey greens and things, and you've got blues, you've got a nice range of purple, we've got your pinks, some reds and oranges. There's more reds and oranges than it is in this, which I rather like, and you've got your golds as well. So I think the colour range in these is slightly better. They sharpen well, they don't break very easily, they keep their point quite well, they blend well. I think these are copies of these, maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, if I had to pick a set, I'd probably pick these, even though I've used them less because I haven't had them as long. But it's hard to tell. Now I have done a chart in my Ko-fi shop comparing the colours of both, so if there's particular colours you like, then you can have a look and see how they compare. So that could be quite useful for you. Let's move those all aside for now. I won't put them away. I need to put them in a pencil case really, but it's just... And I also have another set of Brutfuner metallics, and they're these. Now these are a 12 set. They are thinner pencils. I'll just tip one out for you. Again, I really could do with putting all my metallics in one place. So they're Blackwood pencils. They've got no names on, and the colours are all completely different to the ones in the 50 set, which is quite strange. They aren't. I don't find them as good, but they're okay, and I use them for mandalas and things like that when I just fancy using something a bit different. This box is not going to last much longer. Okay, next. We're nearly there. These are Polycolor. These are Koh-i-Noor pencils, and I have 3 sets. Now this is the 12 set. I was gifted this as a little thank you by someone. I've used these a lot. They get a bit confusing because the names are different in different sets, and I don't know why, but if you want to try them out, this is quite a nice set. But I gather that they don't always, the 12 set doesn't always have the same pencils in as I've got in mine, so it's worth checking. This one broke a lot. You can see it's really teeny tiny. So they're not perfect. They don't hold their point as well as some other pencils, and they don't blend as, you can't layer them. You can get about 3 or 4 layers out of them, and that's it. So they're, you know, it depends what you're looking for. They're not an artist grade pencil, I don't think. But I really like the effects you get. They work very well on Amazon paper, I think, on the sort of slightly toothy papers, like American Amazon paper. That's the 12 set. And I've also got a 36 set and a 48 set. So I was gifted different sets. So all of those are in there. So all of the 12s are in the 36. All of the 36 are in the 48. So I'll just show you the 48 set. You sort of get them in the nice tin, you lift them out like that, it's quite nifty. You get your yellows, oranges, nice reds, pinks and purples, blues, lots and lots of blues, quite a lot of greens, and some nice browns and a nice selection of greys. Now they do a huge range. They do a grey set, a brown set, a skin tone set, a landscape set. They have a full set of 150, I want to say, I'm not sure. This set comes differently in these sort of covered plastic things. I've got a pencil sharpener. It also came with 2 HB graphite pencils. No, they weren't both HB, I can't remember. And they look a bit different because the bottoms are different, but they're the same colours. And you still get a really nice range in here, a nice lot of greens and blues still. So yeah, those are nice too. I just haven't, once I got my bigger set, I didn't use these so much, but I will substitute them in as they run out, you know. And these are a bit fiddly to get in and out of the box, which you know, is always a drawback. I do like a tin. I can't get them, I'm trying to put them in the wrong way. That's why. I'm just trying to demonstrate my point that they're fiddly. So I like the Polycolors. As I say, they're nice. I use them for like Matchstick Mouse, for artists, any artist books, things like that. They are good. Now this is my most recently acquired set. 180 pencils Yova. Now I think these are a dupe or the same as the Calor pencils. And they say they're artist premium. They're not, but they are, for me, If you want a big range of colour, then these are ones to go for. You've got a huge amount of different colours. Now, I'm not going to get them all out because they're sort of stacked. The disadvantage is they take up so much room on the desk. You've got so many layers. Obviously, if you want a big range of pencils, you're going to have a lot of pencils to try and find space for. So, you know, but here I made a swatch chart for myself. So here it is. So you can see the range of colours. So you've got quite a nice lot of yellows, oranges and reds, loads of reds, all these pinks and purples, loads of blues, a few, those are your turquoise, loads and loads of greens, excuse me, some of these are the sort of ochres and things. I put them in Polychromos order really, I felt. So you've got some light skin tones, got your sort of ochres and things, and then browns. Now again, there is no nice light brown in this set. I don't know, you know, like a light umber, a nougat or a bista, you know, I'm talking Polychromos here. You know, they do have a set of metallics in there, which is fun, if you like metallic pencils. Now they're quite smushy. They blend a little bit. They don't break that easily. Some of the colours aren't how you would expect from the picture on the colour on the bottom. They don't always match. That's why the swatch chart is good. And you can get these from my Ko-fi shop. So if you want one, you can have a look. I've got one that's filled in, so you can have a look at the colours, and one that isn't if you want to swatch your own. Some of them, there are spelling mistakes, I'm afraid, in it. This one says Snoky Grey, and this one says Drac Grey, and this one says Bruns. But anyway, the one that you can swatch yourself has been corrected spelling wise, but this one hasn't. Some of them go pink, like this grey goes pink with a white pen, so I've just marked those on. I've taped them as well, so I know. As I say, a budget range with a big amount of colours that are vibrant and do blend. You know, if you haven't got a big budget, then yeah, why not go for it? Okay, oh, they're so big. Now I've got another Koh-i-Noor set here, which maybe I should have done with the Polycolor. These are really, really pretty pencils. If you look at them in the tin, they are beautiful. Now these are multicoloured, so let me take one out and show you. You can see but they don't blend particularly well. So if you want something that changes colour as you colour it, and you've got different colours which are distinctively different colours, then they're really useful. And they're great fun to just play with because they're so different to anything else. Now the greens and the yellows work quite well, and the oranges. It doesn't look too different. But if you do something like this one for example, which has got like a black or blacky brown, an orange and a beige in it, when you colour with it, it doesn't blend together, so you've got like stripy bits and different bits, and so it's a really interesting effect that's very different to anything you get with any other pencils. Sharpening them is the main problem with these. As I say, they're fun and they look beautiful. I've heard people buy them and put them in a frame on their wall, and I can understand why. They're just beautiful. I sharpen them in my Dow 133 and they just fit. So I've got a sharpener for other fat pencils because these are triangular, they don't fit. But yeah, they're a bit of fun. If you want something professional to get a really good quality picture, that's not for you. But if you just want a bit of fun, then they are in it. Right, penultimate set are my Giorgione. Now this bit of the tin is a Faber-Castell picture from a Faber-Castell tin, and these aren't Faber-Castell pencils. So I think they're a dupe of a copy. They were sent to me for free by Grabi to try out, and I've used up some of them already. There are gaps. So we've got a gold. I love the gold. This is probably the best gold pencil that I own, which is saying something as I've got quite a few. The greys are nice. The browns are okay, except they're all very red again. No mid light greys. The greens, I've used up quite a few of them. One of them, two of them I pressed and the lead started coming out. They weren't properly glued into the wood. That was a bit annoying. So I lost a couple of greens, and I use greens a lot. They're getting quite short. Mainly the greens are strange colours. They're either really dark or really light, as you can see. There's no like nice apple green or anything like that. Same with the blues. It's a really weird mix of colours. There are some other blues on the other tray. Lovely, lovely pinks. Now, I'm not a pinky person. I love these pinks. Now, a lot of very wishy-washy yellows that I never use. Too pale. But some nice darker yellows too, which I do use. We've got some peaches. Lovely oranges. Quite a nice range of reds. These sort of darker pinky purples are nice, lovely purples, all of these. These look blue, but they're quite bluey purple, and these are the sort of purpley reds. So it's a nice range of colours here. They keep their point well. They sharpen up quite nicely. They don't break a lot. Some of them do, but not really badly. Yeah, so they're okay, and I don't know how much they cost though these days, or whether you can still get them, but that's that set. I don't use them very much anymore. They've sort of made their way down to the bottom of the pile. My favourite set is the very last set. Now these are expensive. In the UK they're about the same price as Prismacolor. In America I know they're twice the price of Prismacolor, but for me they are my favourite pencils. They aren't perfect, but they're my favourite. Now, I like the fact that you can sharpen them very, very sharp. They rarely break off, and you can get lots and lots of layers, you can layer them up, you can get them right into the lots of detail with them, and that's what I love. There are certain colours that there are lots of yellows, and I thought I'd never use them all, but I do. This is a new one. It's not that I haven't used it. I don't tend to use the ivory or the cream or the white very much. I think those three are my original ones, whereas some of these pencils I've swapped out 2 or 3 times because I've used them up. We have a lovely set of oranges here and loads of reds, which is why I can be quite critical of other sets without many reds, because I'm so used to having lots of reds. Of course you can mix up your sets, but yeah. Pinks, I'm not a pinky person, but I do quite like these pinks, particularly the carmines, because they're more on the red side. The purples aren't as nice as the castles. We've got only a few. These are bluey purples. We've got a mauve and then a sort of pinky purple, so there aren't many purples. This is the bottom layer. So here we've got a lot of blues. I like the range of blues because we've got, for some of them we've got like a light, medium and dark of the blue, and this is quite a pastel-y one. We don't have many pastel shades in this though, which is a lot of people's bugbear with it. Got some nice turquoisey colours, loads of greens, nice greens. We've got, this is our set of sort of bluey greens, we've got mid greens, we've got olive greens, dark greens, you know, nice, and these are sort of purpley browns. Those are strange colours. And then the bottom tray, sorry, you've got a few more red skin tones maybe, well, light skin tones, obviously not dark. You've got some sort of terracotta-y colours, your ochres. Now you've got some lovely light browns and mid browns and dark browns. Yes, I like the browns. You've got warm greys and dark greys. Now I think I would prefer, instead of warm greys, to have like French greys, a little bit more brown in them, a little bit darker. These really light ones are a little bit too pale. And you've got the metallics. That's actually, I've used up my gold, that's a replacement gold, but I keep trying them because I want them to be nice. They're not really. That one I used for a background, so it got used up a lot with lots of details in the page, so I had to keep sharpening it, but I don't really use those very much. The metallic pencils, the Brutfuners, are much better than these if you want metallics, so I think those are a bit of a waste. I think they should take those away and maybe put in some more purples. That would be my suggestion to Faber Castell. But all in all, these are my favourite because they colour, they keep their point, they layer up nicely, they don't smush. They're not so good for backgrounds. If you want to do a big background, they're not so good. I use my pastels for that. or you could use your Polycolors or your Prismas, things like that. But all in all, they are my favourite pencils. Right, I think that's all of them. I hope you've been counting. Do you want to make a guess? How many do you think there are? I'm too scared. I'm not going to play. If you want to play, you play. Put it in the comments. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that was quite useful and interesting. It's a little bit embarrassing, but a lot of these I was gifted. I don't buy millions, but I'm very grateful and I really enjoy them all, so that's good. So that's me. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Yes, make a guess. How many do you think I've got? There are some I haven't shown you. I do have another tin of these as a backup tin, and it's full. So there's another 120 to add to your maths when you do your sums. But anyway, so go back through and do a quick add up and see how many you get. Ooh, I'm scared. I want to know, but I don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a super, super day and happy colouring.